Shalom. This is Sincere Milk of Yahweh Sap, Lion's Den. I camp out with Lion Den Hawan Ben Yeshua in Jacksonville, Florida. But first, I'll to give a prayer to the Father, to the Son, to the elders, to the Akims, and to the women and children. Kal, Halayim, La, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. Bahashem, Ha, Rokak, Radash, Mahamath, in the name of Yahweh Shai, in spirit and holy and in truth. The warners to the elders of GMS, the warners to my elder Hawan. Salutation to the Akims who are the four corners of the earth in sincerity and truth, and to the women and children, Shalom. Well, look what's going on, right? So-called America is getting weaker and weaker. It's finally catching up to them, right? It says here that this is the number one threat to the U.S. economic. Let's see what it is. Here we go. Oh, the title of this lesson, The Wisdom of This World is Destructive. Here we go.
Russia wants to see a new world order, and it looks like China wants to see the same thing. Let me read you this article from NBC News. It is Xi and Putin pledge to shape a new world order as a Chinese ruler leaves Russia. Now you might be wondering, what's this bond between China and Russia? Well, it's distrust and dislike of the United States. Read this from CNBC. China and Russia share a mutual distrust of the West and disdain for what they see as U.S. hegemony in international affairs. So, both China and Russia don't really like the United States. They don't like the United States bullying other countries. They see potential weakness in the United States with our economy slowing, with the high inflation and all the other issues. And so now they're starting to come together and read what Putin put on the Russian website. He wrote on the Kremlin website, "We are working in solidarity on the formation of a more just and democratic, multipolar world order, which should be based on the central role of the United Nations, its Security Council, international law, and purposes and principles of the UN Charter, aka moving away from the rule by the United States." Now, I want to focus in on the economic impact of this because obviously I am a financial channel. I am not a political channel or a geopolitical expert or anything related to that. So I want to focus in on the financial implications of this. And let me read you this line from CNBC. It says, for both Russia and China, their main interest is to weaken the U.S.-led international order. That's their primary goal, long-term and short-term. So I think we should start by defining what does world order mean, because Ray Dalio talks a lot about this. A lot of people talk about world order, but not necessarily explaining what world order means. World order, at the simplest definition you could look at as the world's reserve currency. That's one way to look at it. The United States dollar is the world's reserve currency, meaning the rest of the countries around the world look at the dollar as the safe haven. They look at the United States as the world's superpower. We have the strongest military, the strongest economy, and this is the place where we look at the United States as the leader and the decision maker. And because the dollar is the world's reserve currency, we have a lot of benefits here in the United States because a lot of countries operate on the dollar. Countries save their money in dollars, and countries look at us for economic support. And it also gives us the freedom, over the last number of years we've been doing this, to print a whole lot more money. Because if we had a much weaker currency here, then we wouldn't be able to print as much because, well, inflation would be running much more rampant, because when you have a weaker currency and you print it, well, people don't trust that currency as much. But when you have the world's reserve currency and you print it, people all want the dollar. Because our currency, our dollars, are not backed by physical gold. They're backed by a promise. They're backed by a promise that the full faith of the United States government, our military, and our economy are going to support the value of the dollar. So now when you print more of these dollars backed by this promise, no big deal. Everybody wants the dollar. But if now you're printing a currency that doesn't have as much value, now you can start to see why that's concerning, because you're printing pieces of paper that people don't really trust. That's what pushes people to look for alternative currencies, alternative monies, alternative metals. That's one of the reasons why You saw when the banking failure happened, kind of surprisingly, you saw Bitcoin rally because people were like, we want to move away from our fiat currency. We want to move to Bitcoin. Just like that, people were moving to things like physical gold. Now, I'm not advocating for you to go and dump your dollars, but I'm explaining what's happening. That way you can have a more educated opinion, because I just want to explain the financial side of all of this. Now, if we look a little bit deeper into what's been happening, not here in the United States, but around the world, we have been seeing the BRICS nations, which are Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, come together and start discussing the opportunity for a potential new reserve currency away from the dollar. Again, why? Because they don't necessarily want to keep relying on the dollar. They don't want to keep being bullied by the United States. They don't want to have to keep relying on the United States and potential worries of inflation as well. So they've been discussing a new currency. But what's even more interesting is that this new currency, there's rumors that it will be backed by physical gold. And that's one of the reasons why over the last number of months, we have been seeing central banks from around the world hoard gold at some of the fastest rates we have seen in about 5 decades. The last time that we have seen central banks work to acquire this much gold was when the dollar was taken off of the gold standard in 1971. In the early 1970s, that was the last time that we have seen central banks work to acquire this much gold this quickly. Now, look, I'm going to be completely frank with you, completely transparent with you, because there's a lot of people saying that this is just conspiracy theories, and take it all for what it's worth. I'm not here telling you that this is whatever. I'm just want you to be aware. That way you can make smart financial decisions. That way you can be a more educated investor, because my goal here isn't to get you to like me. My goal is to get you to be more financially educated so you can make better decisions with your money. Now, what does this mean for you, and what is going to be coming? Now, we've done deep dives of this on Market Briefs. If you haven't joined Market Briefs yet, I highly recommend you do so, because we're keeping you up to date with everything that's going on in the financial sector, the banking sector, this global economy, the housing market, the stock market, even crypto. So if you haven't joined Market Briefs yet, it's a free newsletter where you can read it in less than 5 minutes every morning, and you're going to be more educated about what's happening in the financial world. So if you want to join Market Briefs, I got the link to how you can join down in the description below. Now, for me, what does this really mean? Well, I think one source you can learn from is potentially BlackRock. Why BlackRock? Because in BlackRock's 2023 economic outlook on page 11,
I wish I had been informed before dealing with my car insurance and I last crashed. If you were in a traffic accident, this video...
Why BlackRock? Because in BlackRock's 2023 economic outlook on page 11, they talk about this concept of a new world order and how it is changing the way that they invest their money. Now, what is this new world order according to BlackRock? Well, kind of like what we've been discussing, a shift in global powers. And a good resource for this is Ray Dalio. He has a book called The Changing World Order. And what he talks about is, if you look at history, and not over the last 50 years or the last 100 years, but if you look at the last number of centuries, so hundreds of years, what you see is that you see shifts in world powers and global currencies. Like right now, the world order is led by the United States. Prior to the United States, it was Great Britain. And what causes the rise and fall of world orders and great powers? Well, first, it is debasing of the currency, aka printing money. When you start to print more money, well, in the short term, you cause a great boom, because now people have more money. The government can spend more money. The government can do a whole lot more initiatives, and everybody feels like they're rich because there's more and more money flowing in our economic system, and people have access to more money, and people buy more things, which causes businesses to grow. That is the short-term boom. And then you get into this period of like complacency, because now people get used to this idea of having access to everything. There's abundant money around, and people don't have that same work ethic as before. People don't have the same ability to learn skills and do skills like there was before, and that causes kind of a slowdown in the economy. And so that also incentivizes more money printing. More money printing also causes more inflation. More inflation has a byproduct, which is Well, you see a bigger divide between the rich and the poor. Why? Because inflation disproportionately benefits the financially educated, the wealthy, and it disproportionately hurts the financially uneducated, the poor, and the middle class. So inflation makes the middle class go away, and you start to become more and more of a two-class nation. This is what we've been seeing happen here in the United States, where you're seeing a bigger divide between the rich and the poor, and you're seeing a much smaller middle class. And that's very bad news as a society, because you don't want a two-class nation. You don't want a extreme discrepancy.
Okay, let's stop it right there. But as you can see, he has some truth in what he's saying. Okay, but the bottom line is the banksters, the rich elect that decide when to keep stealing and when to move power to what country, right? But behind that really is Yahweh Bashin Yahweh Shai that's moving these people to do what they're doing, because they're getting ready, okay, to bring in the CBDC worldwide. Even if it's backed up by silver and gold, that's only to get people attracted to it, to trust, right? But this wicked kingdom, this wicked world, you can't trust. It don't matter if it's Russia or China. By the way, Russia is related with the American Edomite. They're both Edomites, okay? And they're fighting for power, bottom line, okay? I want to go to 1 Corinthians chapter 1, verse 19. For it is written, I will destroy the wisdom of the wise and will bring to nothing the understanding of the prudent. And that's what's going on. Not only in America, worldwide. The only thing that America has been going around the world, raping, robbing, and murdering, right? Best way to put it, cruelty, right? That's like if you go into a bar and there's people sitting around about to drink beer, and there's a pitch in the middle of the table, and you go and take it without even knowing them, and you drink and then you walk away. You know, they're gonna get pissed. So now around the world, they don't like the Edomites no more, no matter where they are. Okay, the only thing that is pointing to America, because every country around the world wants to be like America. And now that the truth is out, who they really are and what's their true agenda, okay? Well, now everybody around the world is trying to fight for the power. And now also Yahweh Shai is removing the blessing of the sword from the Edomites in America. Verse 20, where is the wise? Where is the scribe? Where is the disputer of this world? Has not Yahweh made foolish the wisdom of this world? Woo! Huh? So it doesn't matter if, what he said, if you are educated or non-educated, okay? I've been to Venezuela many years ago in the 1990s. I seen the rich and the poor, how they live, okay? Soon to come to America. So all these middle classes that have college degree are going to lose their job because AI is going to be taking over their job, you know, on purpose, okay? You got to remember, they're going to bring the population down. Let me go to verse 21. For after that, in the wisdom of Yahweh, the world by wisdom knew not Yahweh. It pleased Yahweh by the foolishness of preaching to save them that believe. You see? So if you really want to get educated, you want to go, you know, the so-called Negros Latinos, American speckled bird, you want to repent and come back to the scripture. It will teach you what is really wealth, what's truly wealth, and the benefits is coming back to your identity, nationality, and your inheritance. Right? It will educate you on finance, spiritually. Okay? Well, they can't steal it. Give me a minute. I want to go to James chapter 3. Give me a minute. I mean, he sounds real informative, but no matter what direction you go, where you invest, they're going to just keep stealing from you no matter what. Verse 6. And remember what America has done to the so-called Negros, Latino Americans, and speckled birds. So now the tables are turning on them. Verse 15. This wisdom descended not from above. That's right. This wisdom of this wicked world is not from above. It's from below. But is earthly, sensuous, devilish. Right? Devilish, like or appropriate to a devil. Woo! And evil and cruelty. Yeah. Right? They speak with buttery lips, the snakes that they are, and then they go around raping, robbing, and murdering and taking people's land, people's country. Right? Let's not forget that the Edomites, right, who are standing in America, are standing in stolen land. To this day, they want to keep insisting and acting that it's theirs when it's not. Okay? Verse 16. For where envy and strife is, there is confusion and every evil work. Yeah. Now around the world, they see the opportunity that people are getting tired of using what is really called Federal Reserve note counterfeit, fake money. People like to use the word currency. It's not even a currency, right? And the reason that people are stopping to trust the Edomites because you can't trust them, no matter what. They break every contract. They want you to obey the contract that they make, which is really called quasi-contract. It only goes in one direction, right? And then when you break it, they come in with the military. Oh, you broke the law. But they're breaking the law every day and every night, nonstop. Okay? Verse 17, but the wisdom that is from above is first pure, then peaceable, gentle, and easy to be intrigued. Salakia. Full of mercy and good fruits, without partiality, Salakia, and without hypocrisy. No, man. These Edomites are always planning evil things to do to people, even to their own kind. I was washing clothes today, and an Edomite was, is fed up with his own people, his own kind, with the people in power. He said, hey, I ain't going to vote no more. They don't care about me. Right? As a matter of fact, out of his own words, he said, I can't wait till God comes back. Right? Music to my ears. Okay? Let's go to Genesis. Just a reminder. Give me a minute. Genesis chapter 3, verse 6. Okay? Just a reminder. Verse 6. And when the woman saw that the tree was good for food, and that it was pleasant to the eyes, and a tree to be desired, to make one wise, she took of the fruit thereof, and did eat, and gave also unto her husband with her, and he did eat. Now, why I'm bringing this up? Because you got to remember, the so-called Negro, Latino, American speckled bird woman, all right, just like Edomite women, they are the weaker vessel, right? And they were created and programmed a different way than us men, okay? Meaning that it's in them to go after those who are in power and wealth. They don't care if you are righteous or wicked. It's not all of them, by the way. There are those out there, so-called Negros, Latino, American, Speckled Bird women that have been called by the name of Yahweh Shin Yahweh Shai, okay, that can see and have understanding, okay? Very small though. But the rest, you know, they go behind those who have power, not realizing that the true power are the ones called the Hebrew Israelite, the so-called Negros, Latino, American, Speckled Birds. The true wealthy ones are the so-called Negros, Latino, American, Speckled Birds, because they are the ones, okay, that are going to be in inheritance of the whole world with Yahweh Shai, okay? But they don't comprehend that because they went to the Elamite universities, to their college, to their belief system, you know? And they only go by what they can see with their eyes. Verse 7, and the eyes of them both were open, and they knew that they were naked, and they sewed fig leaves together and made themselves approved. They made themselves clothes, slakia. Okay? So, the reason the Spirit moved me to bring that up because you Jakes, okay, who are not called into the Word, your wives are going to be, you know, going after those who have the power, who have the wealth. Okay? I mean, you too, you Jakes, okay, so-called Negros, Latino, American, Speckled Birds, okay, but you're going to follow the woman is what I'm saying. Job chapter 4, give me a minute. Job chapter 4, verse 18. Behold, he puts no trust in his servants, and his angels he charged with folly. Listen careful now. Verse 19. How much less in them that dwells in house of clay, whose foundation is in the dust, which are crushed before the moth. Right before the moth. I mean, this paper money, these Edomites, they think they're going to live forever. They think that they're going to keep on doing what they have been doing from the beginning of time. Right? When I say beginning of time, I'm talking about the serpent with Eve, Cain with Abel, Esau, what he wanted to do to Jacob, right? And now the Edomites. Okay? They're doomed. Okay? They're drowning and they know it. So soon Russia and China, you know, are going to press that button. And those missiles soon are going to come to America. All right? Verse 19. How much less in them that dwell in... Okay, right. Verse 20. They are destroyed from morning to evening. They perish forever without any regarding it. You right? They don't care because some of them are going to hide in bunkers, right? But remember, before those missiles come, they have to implement, all right, a money system, an invisible money system. So then right behind after that the whole world's using it, all right, then they can bring in the mandate, right? The MOTV, the CHIP, right? Because they're going to say, listen, we thought, right, they caused the problem, they're going to come out, that they have the solution. We thought this system, right, was going to work, but the best way is that we're going to have to put it in you. We're going to have total control of everyone. That way nobody can steal, and then there will be peace on earth. One big fat lie, okay? Verse 21. Does not their excellency which is in them go away? They die even without wisdom. Yeah, they can't stop that. Even though they want to convince everybody that the technology that they have, their science belief system, right, can give you everlasting life by removing your organs and putting machinery in your body, turning you into a cyborg, right? Brain mapping you, connecting you into the internet. That's crazy. A Frankenstein. That's what they really want to turn you into. Job chapter 5, verse 8. I will seek unto Yahweh. Unto Yahweh would I commit my cause. Verse 9. Oops, we didn't hit this. Which does great things and unsearchable, marvelous things without number. Verse 10. Who gave rain unto the earth and send water unto the fields. Verse 11. To set up on high those that are below. Woo! That those which moan may be exalted to safety. Well, isn't right now they've been practicing for years now, the military, that it can make it rain or make it stop rain? Right? They want everybody to keep looking that they have the ultimate power of all things when they really don't. Verse 12. He disappoint the devices of the crafty, so that for their hands cannot perform their enterprise. Yeah, no matter if it's Russia or China. Okay? They think that what they have is the ultimate achievement, total control. They don't. Boy, are they going to be surprised. Okay? Verse 13. He takes the wise in their own craftiness, and the counsel of the forward he carries head on. Yeah. He's going to show the whole world that they're not so wise and crafty as they think they are, or believe that they are. Slacking. I'm going to go to Job chapter 11, verse 2. Keep this lesson short tonight. Should not the multitude of words be answered? And should a man full of talk be justified? These Edomites, no matter if it's America, Russian, or Chinese, they don't care about justice, okay? All they care is about power. Jump to verse 12. Controlling everything. Verse 12, for vain men will be wise, though men be born like a wild ass cog. They're wild. Okay, they're destructive because of the belief system, because of that wicked demon that they have in them, right? They want to reject the creator, right, of all things, the king of all kings, okay, Lord of all lords. Well, they're going to be put to shame, okay? And the Edomites, okay, they're not going to escape. All the Edomites around the world are going to be put into slavery for 1,000 years. I want to leave it with Job chapter 37, verse 28. Oops, Slakia. 23, 28. Slakia. Touching the Almighty, we cannot find him out. He is excellent in power and in judgment and in plenty of justice. He will not afflict. Verse 24, men do therefore fear him. That's right, we do. He respects not any that are wise of heart. Yeah, you want to keep me. I'm wise. Yeah, I got a college degree. I got the solution to the problem. Well, look what's going on worldwide. Okay, but just remember, anybody that's going to achieve this new world order power is to bring in the CBDC or some type of cryptocurrency. Now, they use the word currency. Just keep in mind, it's really invisible money, right? Even when they say silver and gold, it's all going to be digital. I hope that this was edifying, and with that I'll say, Shalom.